Hi, and welcome to our Cloud Education webcast about cloud-based financial management. Cloud. We've all heard of it. Everyone's talking about moving business transactions to the cloud. But what does that mean? And how can it help your business? In this session, we'll share what we know here at Sage about cloud computing, specifically SaaS, software as a service, financial management, and discuss ways you can figure out if it's right for you and your organization. You'll see some examples in dollars during this webcast. Contact your business partner for more UK examples.
Today's webinar is not about selling you on cloud. It's not about persuading you to switch your financial system to the cloud. Rather, it's about sharing what we know here at Sage about cloud computing, specifically SaaS, software as a service, financial management, and discussing ways you can figure out if it's right for you and your organization. First, I'm going to dive into what the cloud is and what SaaS is. I'll then look at the places you can look to calculate return on investment, ROI, followed by a discussion of total cost of ownership, TCO. In the process of writing and teaching about cloud computing and specifically software as a service, Sage has talked to a lot of customers about where they were and where they are now. And we've come to learn that moving to the cloud is not a magic pill for a business. Companies that thrive on the cloud do two main things. They identify how the move will create a positive ROI, and they fully implement the solution, taking advantage of all the added visibility and automation that cloud offers. They realize that rather than being a magic pill, cloud is another tool in their toolbox, or in some cases, a whole new toolbox. As you learn what this toolset of cloud computing is, you can better decide if you have a need for it. The cloud can be like a mechanic's toolset. Let me make a comparison for you. Imagine a professional mechanic's garage with every tool imaginable for building and repairing engines. Now, think about your own garage, perhaps with just a few tools of the amateur mechanic. They've been purchased as you need them, but there's no engine hoist, there's no valve compressor because, well, I don't do that sort of work and I don't think you do either. In cloud computing, you can add what you need when you need it, or in business terms, when you can see a return on investment by adding it. So, let's dive into defining this thing we call cloud computing and how it works. Cloud computing, in a nutshell, delivers services like servers, storage, databases, networking, and software over the internet. Using the cloud is akin to getting electricity by plugging into the wall socket versus firing up your own generator with all its fuel and maintenance requirements. In terms of cost, it offloads much of the capital expense of running those services in-house. In addition, it provides added value to the business or individuals using the cloud. A cloud solution is like a house that has a foundation, framing, and then finishing. The first two require additional work, while the last one is turnkey, ready to go. Infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, like Amazon Web Service and Heroku, provide an infrastructure for doing cloud computing. The catch is you get to do the computing or hire someone to build and maintain the applications on the infrastructure. Another flavor of cloud computing is the cloud platform, also called Platform as a Service, or PaaS. This is something like Force.com, which is built and maintained by the Salesforce company. Platform as a Service allows for more rapid deployment of software because you aren't programming as much as you're configuring an application to set up datasets, UI pages, and interactions that have already been defined in the system. The third flavor of cloud computing, the one most people think of as a cloud service, is something like financial management. That's software as a service, or SaaS. Systems like Sage Intacct, Salesforce, and Bill.com are software as a service. People connect over the internet and use the applications without concern for the programming or the data structure. The service provider takes care of the updates, security patches, and makes sure that everything works as expected. SaaS is what I'm going to be talking about for the bulk of this presentation. Though it's important to note that every SaaS system has to sit on a platform, which in turn sits on infrastructure. The nature of the platform and the infrastructure can have a big impact on the software. Within SaaS are several flavors of how software is hosted. You can get a single tenant, where a piece of software is installed on a web server for each individual client, or multi-tenant, where all clients share the same code base. I'm going to cut to the short of this and point out that multi-tenant is the only method that provides the key benefits associated with cloud computing and SaaS. With a multi-tenant system, with everyone running on the same code base, updates apply to everyone at once. This is what allows SaaS providers to innovate faster and what has also led to configurable flexibility and economies of scale, which you will see directly impact the value added by the software. Multi-Tenant Sas is what Aaron Harris, the CTO of Sage, was referring to when he said, under the architecture of a true cloud system, developers can innovate to solve large data issues that just can't be solved on limited single-server solutions. Before moving on, let me point out that Sage has a number of products that have cloud features. As I've shown, cloud can be a broad area to cover. For Sage 200 customers who are looking for cloud backup and remote access to their desktop accounting, they can choose Sage 200 while keeping their current functionality. I just want to be clear that the value areas I'm going to be talking about go way beyond that and are specific to a multi-tenant SaaS solution, still within the Sage family of products. Here, as we are talking about Sage Intacct Cloud Financial Management System, the examples come from that solution. I just don't want any confusion about where you'll see this kind of ROI opportunities we speak of throughout this presentation. Our basic equation today starts with the added value part, figuring out where an organization can see gains in visibility and process improvement. Then I'll turn to some things to consider in building your cost of ownership calculations. This equation is key to determining if and when your company is ready to move to the cloud. This is a question without a single answer for every company. For some, it's about the volume of work they are handling, while for others, it's about the complexity and regulatory requirements of their business. Let's dive into figuring out your ROI by first looking at the potential value add for your company. So, let's get into where the rubber meets the road in a typical company or organization. We'll look at how a sample company might consider added value in their organization. Just a quick preface to what areas I'm going to talk about and why I'm going to talk about them. These are the areas that Sage has typically seen companies report a measurable return on investment after moving to cloud financial management. Access, reduced processing time for the close and the AP and AR functions, and enhanced visibility through multidimensional reporting across their whole organization, reporting that includes combined financial and operational metrics. I'm going to walk through an example of a company that has moved to the cloud and has found areas where cloud computing has impacted their business. We're going to show a lot of different things using this example company we've created so that you can find similarities in the things you do and see ways cloud financial management might provide an ROI for you. This example company is Cloud9 Security. They take care of security needs for their customers. Maxine is their head of finance, and she has to deal with a wide variety of financial concerns. Her biggest concern since joining the company has been visibility, getting the right information in the right format to analyze the business and make key decisions. Let's look at how moving to the cloud has added value in the area of visibility into the business by looking at the areas that actually contribute to visibility. First off, there's access. This is the original promise of cloud computing and still holds true today, anytime, anywhere access. But a multi-tenant cloud solution goes way beyond anytime, anywhere access. It is true that Maxine and her team can access their financials from anywhere. And for her company with offices in Texas, Maine, California, and Florida, this is huge. Even if she didn't have multiple locations, the fact that she had to send her accounting team home during the COVID crisis made their anywhere access invaluable. This access also allows people in the field to enter their orders and project completion information in real time, leading to better up-to-the-minute reporting on activity. But here's the big cloud advantage. The cloud has allowed them to connect their CRM, warehouse, and in-field service systems right into finance, so activity is captured and reported in a single system of record. These connections also create time savings, as Maxine's staff don't have to re-enter data that was already input somewhere else. This leads us into direct time-saving automation. Now, you might be saying, wait, my computer's been automating things for years without being on the cloud. And that's true. So how does cloud impact automation? Well, part of it is that little bit I mentioned about how multi-tenant cloud software runs on a single code base. This means that multi-tenant software vendors like Sage Intacct have to build in flexible configurations you need to run things your way. We don't send a consultant over to tweak the software. In the case of Intacct, we've gone to great lengths to put the configuration in the hands of the financial team, setting up options and structures that align with how accounting gets things done. For example, in Maxine's Sage Intacct purchasing, order entry, and inventory modules that feed into her accounts payable and accounts receivable respectively, there are transaction definitions that let Maxine create workflows that match her company's processes. She's created different transaction flows for different aspects of her business. In her case, she has different order workflows for product sales versus services. Invoices from these different workflows post to different general ledger accounts. And she's defined transaction flows from quote to order to shipper to invoice that get automatically converted without rekeying information. She also speeds up the approval process in her company by configuring levels of approval that kick in and send automated messages to approvers. No more playing find the manager. And because this is a cloud application, approvers can approve transactions from their phones or tablets, as well as their computers. She can set these approval rules to run on department or management structure, as well as on amount. Again, all of this speeds up the rate of business, and capturing that business in the financial system at every step leads to more current visibility. This configurability is also found in the reporting system itself. In a cloud-connected system where data flows in from external systems, reporting needs to be under the control of finance rather than relying on IT or consultants. Some of the later webinars in this series go into depth around these reporting tools, from financial reports to custom transactional reports to customizable dashboards. Because it's a cloud system, it can serve as a data hub for all finance-related systems, collecting and reporting on non-financial data like hours of operation, number of employees, retail space, or data usage. As a company with multiple entities, Maxine's company needs to see across all its locations. This used to mean that she had an instance or a file for each of her entities, and she would consolidate those manually each month. With a cloud system, she's able to roll those up under a single top-level entity. Because all her entities use the same chart of accounts, she has continuous consolidation across the organization. If she had entities with different charts of accounts, like foreign entities, she would run that consolidation with a few clicks. How would immediate consolidation affect your period close? Typical companies on Sage Intacct are cutting their close time in half. Looking forward, Maxine also enjoys the benefits of artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning, which is brought about by cloud computing. You see, cloud computing allows us to connect lots of CPUs, processing power, together in massive arrays to crunch lots of data quickly. On Sage Intacct, this means she gets AI automation like general ledger outlier detection, which looks across her entire GL and reports any anomalies, and even suggests remedies based on things she's done in the past. And her employees who consult for customers use intelligent time to gather information from their calendars and email to recommend timesheet entries, saving hours each week and improving billing accuracy. These enterprise-level advancements in AI technology are available to her small business because of cloud computing. I'm not going to put any numbers to how this example company saw value add from moving to the cloud, but Sage Intacct has gathered reports from scores of customers who report on the financial improvements they've seen from moving to cloud financial management. For example, a regional healthcare foundation saves 10 hours a month in report preparation. A leading educational institution saves at least 6 days of accounts payable time each month. A web-based software company's sales function used automations made available through the cloud to save 100 hours per month in data entry, seeing a return on investment in 2 months. A family-owned publication delivery company slashed their client billing and accounts receivable processing time by 50%. And finally, a technology consulting firm saves $150,000 annually through improved productivity. People got to these numbers by adding up the time savings in their accounting processes. For example, how much time can you save by not playing Find the Manager for approvals? How much time not rekeying orders? How much time by cutting the close in half? And what do these time savings add up to in terms of labor cost? Even bigger may be what those time savings add up to in reallocating that time to higher value activities like business analysis. Any one of these may provide all the return on investment you need to justify moving to the cloud. Your gains may be counted in money, or, as per the example of a wealth management company, in terms of what you can do for your customers. With cloud computing visibility and automation, they were able to create an alternative investment structure that led to a $26 million investment. Or Room to Read, an international non-profit who used their 400% ROI to help educate 100,000 additional children. Let's turn our attention to total cost of ownership of on-premises versus cloud. Calculating TCO is a little simpler than calculating value add, but it's more than just the price of your software contract. It comes down to what you're paying for now that would go away or get repurposed by moving to the cloud. It also takes into account the cost of risk associated with on-premise versus cloud systems. The typical Sage Intacct customer sees a payback less than 7 months after their go-live date. One element that isn't included here kind of falls between value add and TCO, and that's security. Not just the cost of security, but the cost of risk associated with security failures. Security is a constant balancing act of providing access to those that need it and protection from bad actors. So just exactly what are you getting when you move to a cloud management solution? Well, we can't speak to the security of every cloud, but we can give you Sage Intacct as an example. With Sage Intacct, you get enterprise-level security that exceeds what all but the largest public companies can afford. This includes dedicated, seasoned, and certified information security professionals, hardened facility with 24/7 guards, closed-circuit video monitoring, man-traps, biometrics, uninterrupted power supplies and fire suppression, and monthly installation of additional servers to maintain extreme traffic capacity. Sage Intacct maintains capacity with over 10,000 CPUs and over 100 terabytes of RAM, handling over 100 million application requests per day and over 1 billion web services API calls per month, while targeting less than 30% continuous server utilization. Beyond the security of protecting the data from a breach is protecting the data from an overflow. Sage Intacct maintains server capacity to ensure that the daily usage stays at or below 30% of capacity. This is the advantage of pooled resources in a multi-tenant cloud system. At the end of the day, your decision to move to the cloud or stay where you are boils down to whether you will see an ROI in your company. Consider the value add you can achieve through access for a distributed workforce or locations, connection to other key systems that affect finance, automation of transactions and approvals, and visibility into up-to-minute financial and transactional reports. Add in your TCO savings or cost. The details around calculating your ROI are unique to each business. Our typical customer sees a payback in less than 7 months. So next time someone asks you what cloud computing is all about, you can tell them it's about way more than just anywhere, anytime access.